What's up? Inflatable enthusiast here, and what I have today is the Gemmy 2004 8-foot tall airborne inflatable Bumble the Abominable Snowmonster. So, as you guys have seen before, or as I might have talked about before in some of my videos, I'm a really big fan of the Bumble from Rudolph. Not really sure why. It's just kind of like a childhood thing. Like as a kid, I was always obsessed with his character. Every time I watched the show, I used to be afraid of him. A lot of people actually were afraid of this guy in the original show, funny enough. And I was too as a kid, but he was always my favorite character. I did a classic display, so I wanted a classic Bumble inflatable. So I picked this one up off of Mercari for like $80 or something. It was pretty cheap. And he's in really good condition. So, this is one of my favorite classic inflatables, not just classic Rudolph inflatables. This is just one of my favorite classics of all time. Like, Gemmy did a lot of just 8-foot inflatables back then. This is probably one of my favorite 8-foot classic Gemmys. I really love this one, Sam the Snowman. There's a lot of classic Rudolph inflatables that I absolutely love. This isn't actually the first Bumble inflatable Gemmy made. They did make one, I believe the original year it came out was 2003. It's an older model than this one. You can tell the differences. I'll pull up a picture of it on screen right now. You can just see the differences between the two. Obviously, the older one has white feet for some reason, which isn't accurate. It's definitely much less accurate to Bumble's character. His face is a little bit different too, and the shape of his body is it's more slim, I guess you could say. But that was their first attempt at making a Bumble inflatable, so it's obviously not going to be perfect. But I really, really love this one. I love the original one, the one on the left. I've been looking for this one for a long time. This thing does show up for sale a couple times recently, and it does usually show up for sale every couple of years or so, but it hasn't shown up in good condition in a long time. So, but if any of you know where I can get one of these, because this is one of my holy grail inflatables I've been looking for, let me know, because this is one of my favorites on the left here. And like I said, even though it's like primitive and it's not exactly accurate to Bumble's character, there's some kind of charm that it has because it's the first inflatable they made of the Bumble. I just really, really like it, and I think it's a cool collector's piece to have. But like I said, I couldn't get that one in good condition, but this one is a lot more common than the original. It does look better, like I said, but I don't know. The original is just my favorite because it's the first one. So, yeah. But anyways, I'll do a review on this guy because I still do really like this design as well. So let's get right into it. So the background, I love the classic Rudolph boxes too. Got the purple and blue background with the snowflakes and the sparkles everywhere. It looks awesome. Definitely gives off, Rankin Bass vibes, especially with the Rudolph font for the Bumble the Abominable Snowmonster. I think that's great. Have the Rudolph logo there, Airblown inflatable logo, 8 feet tall, and then a little stock image of it, I guess you could say. Then here's the picture of the actual inflatable. A little kid standing next to it. Yeah, weatherproof, everything included. You got the classic Gemmy logo down there. The side is identical. And the back here, unfortunately, the box is a little bit damaged, but they have a picture of the Bumble right here. I really wish that was perfect because, I love that they used to put that on the back of their boxes. They did the same thing with Sam the Snowman as well. I love that, but unfortunately mine got ripped a little bit. So you can see the 1, 2, 3 setup right here. 2004 Gemmy Industries. Some tape, and it looks like this was scribbled off. I'm not sure why. So yeah, and then there's the back. So we'll just get right into it. I mean, not the back, this is the other side. The inner flap also still has the design going on it, which is really cool. So yeah, like I said, I use this guy in my display for my classic display. It works great. Oh, sorry, I forgot that I had the stakes in there. So no real complaints on this guy. Pretty sure he's unzipped. Yeah, he is. So I'm going to go zip this guy up and we'll plug him in and inflate it. Alrighty, so I got him all set up here. I'm also finally starting to review back in this room again because We finally were able to get our Christmas tree out of here, so there's a lot more room now. I've been doing a couple of reviews over in the hallway, which is cool because I have the fading lights in there, so it's good for, like, you know, to look at them in the dark. So I'll probably move him out there to do that, but for this room's just overall better because there's a lot more space. And the walls aren't so close to the sides of them. So yeah, he inflates very fast. He has a powerful bass fan in him, surprisingly. One of the lights in there is kind of finicky right now. It's going on and off. It's not a blinking light, so it must just have a poor connection. He has some minor scratches as well, like for the printing here, you can see. His eyes are a little bit scratched, but for the most part, he's very, very clean. Still very, very white. And he inflates great, so just sort him out here a little bit. Alrighty, so here he is. Also, you might have noticed recently I actually changed my YouTube profile picture to this guy. And not the 15-foot Bumble that I've had for a long time. I actually got rid of my 15-foot Bumble. I know in my video, if you saw it a few years back, it was already January of 2022 when I made that video, so 2 years ago now. I was super stoked when I got that guy. I was, like, absolutely out of my mind. I was 2 years younger, so I was a lot more stupid and just, childish. I was absolutely obsessed with that inflatable, and I said in the video that it was my favorite inflatable of all time, and I was like really, really crazy about it. After I used it in my display in 2022, I didn't really care for it as much as I thought I would. The lights in it are cool, but the overall inflatable was just very plain. It looked cool. The size was definitely awesome, but I didn't like it as much as I thought I would when I actually used it in the yard. And he actually ripped a little bit and stuff like that because it's not Gemmy quality fabric. He wasn't even made with colossal fabric, so I wasn't super stoked about the quality with him. And like I said, he just wasn't that... After I used him, I realized he wasn't really that cool. So I actually ended up selling him, and I made a good amount of money off of him to help buy stuff for this year's display. But, yeah, that guy, I know that was my icon for a long time on YouTube, and it was kind of like, becoming my thing. But I just wanted to get rid of it because I didn't really like that inflatable that much anymore, and I just, like I said, I sold it. So, I will probably change it back to that icon, though, if I can get the fuzzy 15-foot Bumble, which was the original one that Hammacher Schlemmer made back in, like, 2014. That is my favorite Bumble inflatable, and I've been looking for that one for a long time. It's basically the same inflatable as the 15-foot light show one, but it has white fuzz all over it, and it has C7s instead of the disco lights, which I just like the more traditional C7s. The disco lights were cool, or the snowfall lights, whatever you want to call them, but they did look kind of cheap because they were like a bright white LED color, which stuck out like a sore thumb in my display, and I just didn't really like it. But yeah, anyways, that's completely off topic. I just thought I'd mention that because, some of you might have been questioning why I had this guy as my profile picture. So yeah, I'm probably going to change it back to that if I get the 15-foot fuzzy Bumble. That one's really hard to find. Or I'll change it to the original Bumble if I can get my hands on that one. But yeah, anyways, this will be a short review because it's a very, simple inflatable. But I guess we'll start up at his face. It looks pretty cartoony, not super accurate to the Bumble, but again, this is classic Gemmy. That's one of the reasons why I like it, though. His teeth aren't printed on, they're actually fabric, so occasionally this would like flip up like that and stuff, and I would have to fix it, but I think it does look really cool. It makes it look more 3D. His nose also isn't printed on, it inflates, and you can see all the facial details and stuff. Like I said, minor scratching on the eyes, his little hair or fur at the top, and then he's holding a star right there. I wish they made it look more like a Rudolph star. I'll pull up a picture of what that looks like right now, instead of just a traditional 5-pointed star, but, it doesn't look too bad. I recommend definitely displaying, if you have one of these guys, definitely try to display it next to a tree that's about 8 feet to 10 feet tall, because when he's holding the star next to it, it looks like he's putting it on. I think that would be a really cool idea. I wanted to do that for my display, for the classic display, but it's hard to get a classic Gemmy tree in good condition, and I wanted to put Rudolph next to him as well, which is what I ended up doing. So yeah, he has like the fur details on the on his chest right here. Inflates very, very good. Definitely no complaints on that. And like I said, he inflates very fast as well. His feet are blue, which is actually accurate. Like I said, the original 8-foot Bumble has white feet, which is very strange and kind of unsettling looking. But again, I still like that inflatable because it's so primitive, and it's the first, you know, it's Gemmy's first attempt at a Bumble, so it's still really cool. And his claws are actually fabric too. They're still blue for some reason, but they inflate and it looks really, really good. And all throughout he has these pieces of fabric that hang down that look like fur. He has it right here on his neck, on his arms. The back of him is completely white. There's really nothing to look at. But yeah, I really like this one. It was great for my display this past year. I'm definitely going to keep it and keep using it unless I can get the original one. If I do, I'll sell this one. But I do really, really like this one now. So, yeah, I'll go move it into the other room real quick so we can do a night view. Alrighty, so yeah, you can see why I moved him in the other room. He just barely fits in here. But anyways, we'll go turn the lights off. And as you can see, he lights up pretty good. I think there's 1 or 2 C7s out in him. Actually, I think there is 2. I think there's supposed to be 1 in his head and then 1 down here in his lower body. But if you've seen my night view of my display, he lights up great. I mean, he's completely white, so I have no complaints with the lighting in him. So yeah, and the colors are still great on him too. So I'm very glad I got this. Again, if anyone knows how I can get the original Bumble from earlier in the video that I showed in good condition, I really, really want that one. That's my favorite Bumble inflatable, just because of, you know, the nostalgia behind it and that it was Gemmy's first attempt. I really love that one. So if anyone knows where I can get that, let me know in the comments. And if anyone is interested in this one after I get that one, let me know. Because like I said, I'm going to keep it for now, but if I get the original one, I will sell this and I will post it on eBay and stuff like that. But yeah, so anyways, that's pretty much it for this review. Thank you for watching. I'm the Inflatable Enthusiast, and I'll see you guys next time.